Good morning, everybody. We're going to be skipping around just a little bit because I'm going to try and hit the important things since we've kind of been closed in on time in terms of, time that we've been off, time that we were reviewing. And so we're going to skip over to section 9-3 and talk about how to go between polar and rectangular coordinates. And so just a reminder, and again, you might want to pause at any time to be able to copy down a picture or something. When we talked about the rectangular coordinates, that was saying x steps to the right and y steps up. And then if we move back to the y-axis, that makes a rectangle. And then when we talked about polar form, we talked about this theta value and this r value. So if we knew the angle and we knew the distance from the pole, then we could find that same point. And so what we want is a way to go from x and y to r and theta and the reverse. So the rectangular coordinate x comma y, we're going to find the rectangular coordinate by saying that the cosine of theta is equal to x over r. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, so that's where that comes from. So if we multiply both sides by r, that means that anytime I'm looking for x, I can just take r times the cosine of theta. Similarly, if we talk about y is going to be, the sine of theta is going to be y over r because it's opposite over hypotenuse. And if we multiply both sides by r, we end up with y equaling r sine of theta. So anytime we know r and theta, we could do r sine of theta to find y. And so let me pause for a moment. Okay, so in this case, we are given an r value of 6, and we're given a theta value of 120 degrees. And we want to be able to find this as an x comma y. So we said that x was going to be equal to r times the cosine of theta, and we said that y would be equal to r times the sine of theta. And so then if we do that, we get x is equal to 6 times the cosine of 120, and that y is equal to 6 times the sine of 120. So let's take a look at 120 degrees. So that's going to be in the second quadrant, right? And so then if we do 180 minus 120, we get a reference angle of 60 degrees. So that means this angle is 60. So this is root 3, this is 1, and this is 2. So coming over here, x is going to be equal to 6 times the cosine of 120. So adjacent over hypotenuse is going to be 1/2. So that means x is going to be equal to 3. I'll come back to this in just a minute. And then y is going to be opposite over hypotenuse. And so then, do we see 2 goes into 6 3 times? And so we get y is equal to 3 root 3. Now, partway into the question, I realized I had made a slight error, but this is how you want to check it. Did you notice that this point is going to be 6 units out from the origin, putting it into quadrant 2? And in quadrant 2, x and y are not going to both be negative. So that means that I need to come back and see where did I go wrong. So my y value is positive, but my x value would need to be negative. So that means that this would be a negative 1/2, making this a negative 3. And now we're talking about a point in the first quadrant. So 6 comma 120 degrees is equivalent to negative 3 comma 3 root 3 if we want it in rectangular coordinates. So that means I could go to the left 3 units and up 3 root 3 units, and we would be at the exact same point. If we have it in radians, we can either work with it in radians or we can change the radians into degrees. So if I multiply this by 180 over pi, do we see that the pi's cancel and 6 goes into 180 30 times? So this is the same as 4 comma 30 degrees, if that's more helpful. And so if you feel confident about this, go ahead and pause the video and give it a try. And if you don't feel confident, just keep watching. So this means that r is equal to 4 and that theta is either equal to pi over 6 or it's equal to 30 degrees. So that means that x is going to be equal to 4 times the cosine of 30 degrees and that y is going to be equal to 4 times the sine of 30 degrees. So if we take a look at 30 degrees, that is in the first quadrant. So everybody's going to be positive. Opposite the 30 is 1, adjacent is root 3, and hypotenuse is 2. So that means that my x value is going to be 4 times, so cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, so that's going to be square root of 3 over 2. And so then 2 goes into 4 twice, so that makes x equal to 2 root 3. And then for y, we get y is equal to 4 times the sine of 30 degrees. So opposite over hypotenuse is going to be 1/2. And half of 4 is equal to 2. And so we get 2 root 3 comma 2 as our x comma y. So again, if ever I go too fast, you can always pause the video and you can always pause it and try the problem ahead of me as well. All right, so this would be a good time to try to pause the video and see if you can answer these questions. And so I'm going to move forward. And in this case, we get r is equal to -4 and theta is equal to 45 degrees. So let's just kind of picture what that looks like real quick. So that means that I would go 45 degrees, but instead of going forward 4, I would go backwards 4. So it looks like in terms of x comma y, we would be in quadrant 3. So let's keep that in mind because that means x would need to be negative and y would need to be negative for this to work. So we get x is equal to r times the cosine of theta. So that means it's -4 times the cosine of 45 degrees. And if you don't already have that memorized, that's going to be in the first quadrant. So when this is 45, each of these are 1, and this one is the square root of 2. And then we've got y is equal to r sine of theta. And so y is going to be -4 times the sine of 45 degrees. So if you notice, x is going to be -4 times root 2 over 2. And so 2 goes into 4 twice, and so we get -2 root 2. And then y is going to be -4 times, and then that's also going to be 1 over root 2, which is root 2 over 2. And 2 goes into 4 twice, making y equal to -2 root 2. So let's go back to that earlier thought. We said this was going to be in quadrant 3 when it came to x and y. And if you notice, both my x and my y are negative. So that means I am in quadrant 3. So this is going to be -2 root 2, comma -2 root 2. So whether I go 2 root 2 steps to the left and 2 root 2 steps down, or if I go 45 degrees and then backwards 4 units, I'm going to end up at exactly the same point. All right, so taking a look at D, we have r is equal to 0, and we have theta is equal to 13 pi over 3. Now, before I do a bunch of work to figure out what that would be in terms of degrees, let's take a look at what would happen. So we get x is equal to 4 times the cosine of theta. And notice that 0 times anything is going to give me 0. So I saved myself a couple of steps. And then y is going to be r times the sine of 13 pi over 3, which again, 0 times anything is going to give us 0. And so that means that that is a point at the pole or at the origin. So since the r value has a length of 0, it's not going anywhere from the pole, and so you end up at the pole or at the origin. So now let's talk about going in the reverse, where we are looking for the polar coordinate instead. And so what that means is we're going to be looking for r and looking for theta with respect to x and y. So looking at it as a right triangle, do we see that x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared? So if we just want r, we would take the square root of both sides. And then if we take a look at theta, if we know x and y, then we can say that theta is the inverse tangent of y over x. And that works for quadrant 1 and quadrant 4, which is when x is greater than 0. So if we want to talk about it in quadrant 2 or quadrant 3, we would have to add pi or add 180. So anytime x is less than 0, that puts it in a quadrant where inverse tangent is not defined, because the inverse tangent is only defined in quadrants 1 and 4. So if we take a look at these examples, this is talking about theta could be anywhere in that first revolution, and we're only going to talk about positive R values. We're not going to worry about going in opposite directions. So if we take a look at A, first thing we want to do is kind of sketch what that would look like. So 2, 2 would be somewhere in quadrant 1. So we would expect theta to be somewhere between 0 and 90 degrees. So we said that R was going to be the square root of 2 squared plus 2 squared. So we get the square root of 4 plus 4, which is the square root of 8. And 8 is 4 times 2. And so we get R is equal to 2 root 2. Okay? And then coming over here, we are in quadrant 1 and x is positive. So we don't have to worry about anything fancy with that inverse tangent. We can just do that theta is the inverse tangent of y over x. So that's going to be 2 over 2. And so if you remember, the inverse tangent of 1 is 45 degrees. Now, they said that we wanted it in radians, so we're going to go ahead and multiply this by pi over 180. So if you put 45 fraction button 180 into your calculator, you're going to notice that you get 1/4. So that's going to be pi over 4. So we get 2 root 2 comma pi over 4. So if we take a look at the next one, we've got 2 comma negative 3. So let's get an idea of where that's located. So that's positive 2, negative 3. So it's somewhere in the fourth quadrant. So R is going to be the square root of 2 squared plus 3 squared. And again, because I'm squaring it, I don't want to worry about that negative. So we get the square root of 4 plus 9, which is the square root of 13. So then when we talk about that, so this is a triangle right here, 2 steps to the right and 3 steps down, and we now know R is the square root of 13, right? So quadrant 4 is somewhere where theta is defined. So we can just say theta is going to be the inverse tangent of the opposite over the adjacent, or y over x. Now this is not one of our typical triangles. It's not one of our special triangles. So making sure your calculator is in degrees, you're going to do inverse tangent of negative 3 over 2, and we get negative 56.3. So we'll just say negative 56 degrees. So 2 problems with that. One is that it's negative, and this said we needed to be greater than 0. So while we're here, let's go ahead and add a 360 to that. And so if we do negative 360 minus 56, we get 304 degrees. And it wanted in radians, so we're going to multiply that by pi over 180. And because it was a rounded answer, it wasn't a perfect answer, we're literally going to multiply by pi and divide by 180, and that gives us 5.3 radians. So my R value is the square root of 13, and my theta value in radians is 5.3. Okay, so I've only got a minute and a half left, so I'm going to go as quickly as I can. So again, pause at any time. So if we take a look at C, we've got R is going to be the square root of 3 squared plus root 3 squared. So 3 squared is 9, and root 3 squared is 3. So we have the square root of 12. And so that gives me the square root of 4 times the square root of 3, which is going to be 2 root 3. Now if we sketch this, this is in the second quadrant, which means that when I look for theta, we're going to do the inverse tangent of y over x, but that's going to give me a quadrant 4 answer. So to make it a quadrant 2 answer, we're going to add 180. And so if I go ahead and plug all that into my calculator, I'm going to do inverse tangent of root 3 divided by negative 3, and then add 180, and that gives me 150 degrees. And so then if I multiply that by pi over 180, I would end up with, I believe that's going to be 5 pi over 6. So we get 2 root 3 comma